Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of laws of exponents. This is standard A.11B in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 35, which is a new item type called drag and drop, of the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. Alright, so we've got an expression here, and there's a little bit of text afterwards, but it's just a little bit descriptive. Right, that's really what we're looking at. This x to the 6th, y to the 3rd, and then we're dividing it by, right, if we want to make it look like something, right, divided by x squared over y. Now, that looks a little bit weird because we have a fraction with a fraction in the denominator. But it can be written as a product. That's actually a very good idea. I think we might want to do that, of two exponential terms of bases for all values, right? So you could just multiply the x and the y. And all it says is the expression is defined. So we can't never divide by 0. So no value is going to be good if it allows us to, put a 0 in the denominator. And then we need to choose the correct term for each exponent. Now, move the correct answer to each box. They can be used more than once, and not all answers will be used. Well, obviously, all answers won't be used. But let me go ahead and just move this out of the way here. I want to show you. Let's say we can actually use -3 twice. Okay, so they can use something more than once. You can use any of these numbers more than once, and if you just try to do one answer, you are going to get an error message saying you have not answered everything. So it's a 2-point problem. Make sure we get both points in there. Now, let's open up our graph draw feature. All right, and we're going to get that back up there. So I mentioned this when we were reading this, that it's actually probably a good idea to do this, because some of us, it's a little bit strange to get a fraction within a fraction, okay? Because what we're going to end up doing is flipping this. Now, think of something as simple as this, okay? We're going to take 10, okay? And we are going to divide it by 2. Okay, that's easy, that's 5. We're going to take 10, we're going to multiply it by the reciprocal of 2. 1/2. That's 5. Right? So we realize this law that if dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal, we could do the same thing right here. We could take our x to the 6th, y to the 3rd, and instead of dividing it by this right here, what if we were to multiply it by its reciprocal? It would make our life a little bit easier. So let's do that. We're going to multiply it by its reciprocal. So now we're going to have y over x squared. Okay? So if we want to combine all that, we can have x to the 6th, y to the 3rd, times y over x squared. All right. Now we're in business. Now let's open up our reference materials to make sure we've correctly captured the properties of powers. Right? So we're looking for bases. The bases have to be similar for us to do anything. I see two things that we can do right there. Okay? So first off, I've got a y to the 3rd times a y, and let's go ahead and call that y to the 1. Right? If there's any exponent that's missing there, you can always put it to the 1 power, which just doesn't change anything. So what happens when we multiply two bases that are similar? You see it right there. A to the m times a to the n equals a to the m plus n. So you just end up adding the two powers. So x times, and then y3 plus 1 over x squared, and that's just going to end up being x to the 6th over y to the 4th times y to the 4th over x squared. Now, we've got a division of powers, the x's, and you just end up subtracting them. So I'm going to subtract these two. That's going to end up being x to the 4th, y to the 4th, because that x to the 6th over x to the 2, we're just going to end up putting 4th in both of these, and that's our answer.